but it's the abbreviation is IEFZ, right? And so Incheon has received a really consider a material amount of investments to build this economic free zone. And starting from next year, there will be a lot of opportunities for many companies to contribute for Incheon's turnaround and their vision and their innovativeness to integrate blockchain within their supply chain, medical, to all the way from like public services to private services, and throughout Incheon. So they do want to be one of the first cities to actually integrate blockchain. So it's great news.
Wow. Do you think it's kind of like the Florida trying to create their own blockchain city?
It might not be as like that, but I'm hoping that in Korea, I think it might not even only be exclusive to Korea, but especially if the government is pushing for a certain narrative or agenda, then the public pretty much follows it, right? So I think with the push and the influence from the government, more people will be more open-minded about blockchain and how just regular Web 2 can integrate or to transition into Web 3.
Cool. All right, so the next question comes from Chukwu, and they ask, what strategies do you employ to navigate cultural differences and business norms in Korea to ensure successful relationship building efforts?
Yeah, that's a good question. So the Korean culture is very particular. It's very particular. So there's like different mannerisms, and there's different like unspoken rules. Like politeness. There's like different levels of politeness, respect, and mannerisms, and to it's definitely case by case. You have to know your audience, definitely. But yeah, I've had no problems, getting a meeting with somebody, sharing common interests, and also closing the deal. Definitely, yeah. I had no issues so far.
What are the specific, this is from Emmanuel. What are the specific regulatory and legal factors that we need to consider when implementing blockchain in Korea's healthcare sector?
Yeah, so that's another really good question. So legal and regulatory, issues or barriers. We can call it barriers. But it's not exclusive to Korea, right? Medical and healthcare related data is the most controlled, is the most, it's the most controlled, and it has the most limitations of where it can be used compared to other types of data, right? It's considered highly sensitive and highly confidential.
Mm-hmm.
But I was mentioning before, like if the patient or the user has control over their own data, by using just the Care Wallet, you're your own node and you control your own data, right? So it just alleviates a lot of these barriers, to be honest, because even though Korea has like a very good hospital system, healthcare system, all that data is definitely still centralized. It's stored by the hospital, it's controlled by the hospital or the insurance company. But through our solutions, we eliminate a lot of these different silos, right? And by doing so, the user actually has control over their own data. So I feel like, once our solutions are actually integrated into, the healthcare system here in Korea. We're going to be able to show the world, and not only the world, but specifically Korea, that it can be done within the laws and within the regulations. But just to be on the safe side too, we do have a legal team here at Solve.Care. So before we do anything, it goes through vigorous legal team inspection, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. We're always on the side of compliance, so we always run everything through our compliance guys because, yeah, it is tricky being in blockchain and in healthcare at the same time. But I think we handle it quite well.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the next question comes from Unique. What kind of support and training does Solve.Care provide to healthcare providers and organizations in Korea to facilitate the adoption of our platform?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think I answered some of that already. Like once we sign a partnership agreement or an MOU, or even contracts, we spend a lot of time doing workshops for employees. And that's not only in Korea, that's everywhere globally. So all the partners that we've ever had, we do workshops with them, with the staff, with the leadership there, just so that they understand exactly, what the network will do, what their journeys would do, and people that follow Solve.Care, I like most of everybody that's here in this in our communities. Everybody knows that we use like these very proprietary type terms, right? Like care wallet or journey or cards, and these are all new terms, right? So definitely all of these things need to be explained, and we deep dive into all of these topics, so everybody that's working with us or new clients are super familiar with what we're doing.
Cool. Yeah, we have a complex system, so it is very challenging to explain all the terms and all the different layers of our platform. So it's good that you have an initiative to, try and educate these potential clients or signing partners, what we do and how it works, because yeah, it's important to them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this next question I probably should have asked first, but as a Korean regional manager, sorry, this is from Mike, which is not me, community member. What's your role in the team, and what does your job description look like?
Okay, are you sure it's not cheap? Because I think you did ask me that before.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding. No, yeah, that's a good question. So yeah, as a regional manager in Korea, definitely I overview a lot of the activities, right? Like including marketing, um, the condition of solve, the and then even like the bigger picture where I'm trying to create or increase accessibility of solve, right, for more Koreans or people in Korea, and then also to create real utility and use cases for solve, um, partnerships, accounting. I do have an accounting background, so I do look at the accounting. Yeah, a lot of things. Blockchain college, teaching, you know,
yeah,
whatever
it's
is
kind of one of those
available.
things where when you work,
Whatever is available at Solve, like I'll just raise my hand. I'll do it.
yeah, I'm the same way. I'm on so many different projects and things now because of that. All right, so Anita asks, what strategies are in place to boost the Solve.Care brand in Korea?
So, our branding is actually has improved over the past few months. We are using, you know, we're 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 definitely staying within the brand, the global brand, and that's actually helping us a lot, right? Because I think before Self-Care Korea was uh, in a space where it was kind of it it was in a space where it was trying to just literally translate English to Korean, right? And a lot of times when that happens, there's loss in translations. There's people miss the meaning, the intention. It could
Mhm.
be a joke, it could be really funny in English, but then like once you translate it in Korean, it's like, what the heck are they talking about, right? Um, so we are definitely localizing a lot of the terminologies that we're using, um, and I think that's really helped the brand a lot. And we plan on definitely, continuing to improve in that field, in that area. And, and so, yeah, definitely, better localization for sure.
Cool. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, it's difficult with the cultural differences, the language barriers. It's great. Now we have a full community management team, all based in Korea. They've helped so much with the translations and just keeping in touch with the community because I I use Telegram for the translations, and sometimes reading it makes no sense. So it's good to have them there. Good to have that localization.
Hmm.
All right. So Anita asks about the Hillstone partnership. So, what kind of initiatives or upcoming projects are planned into the Hillstone partnership?
So when we signed the partnership with Hillstone, it was under the understanding and basis of the Incheon Economic Free Zone, right? They do have a strong presence um, in Incheon as well, and so we felt that it would be very beneficial for both parties to team up and to to have a good you know to have a strong relationship, um, trying to create solutions and to provide services when the Incheon Economic Free Zone, all of those opportunities are going to come next year. We're definitely, um, we're always brainstorming and we're coming up with different plans on how we can use our each other's resources to provide that service. So, yeah, I mean, without going into too much detail, that's definitely the basis of the partnership with Hillstone.
Cool. Yeah, I'm very excited to see the fruition from that because I feel like that's a big one. They're such a good name in Korea, and it's such a great opportunity with the Incheon Economic Free Zone. So I'm excited for that.
Mhm.
So, another question from Chukwu. How do we demonstrate our credibility and expertise in blockchain within the Korean healthcare industry?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. So our credibility, it's basically we're leading by example, right? A lot of other, you know, so-called healthcare blockchain companies that may have started around the same time we have, or even before, or even after, they're not really doing too much these days, right? They're not surviving because we all knew that, with blockchain, it has to be very tech heavy, like technology heavy, right?
Mhm.
And the technology has to make sense, right? The solutions and types of innovativeness, it has to make sense. It has to be realistic. And so, our credibility comes by, I mean, this is my personal opinion, but we're just leading by example. So, um, with all of our other clients globally, and the great reviews and the comments that they have for us, um, you know, even after we have provided that solution for them, uh, it just speaks volumes, right? So, where else, like what other company can have the type of track record that we do, and then also their previous clients like speaking very highly about the project other than Solve.Care.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. So, on a unrelated note, do you miss California?
I talked to my family. My family's still out there and my friends, and they all tell me not to come back because it's uh they just say it's not that great. It's not the California or the LA that I remembered it, how I remember it. Um yeah, there's a lot of things that's going on out there that's very, very unfortunate, to be honest. So
Yeah. They need big help with the mental health. I feel like Solve.Care can help them, but yeah, it's pretty much the same for me. I just have a lot of friends telling me, it's not the same. San Diego used to be like one of the most laid back places on the
beautiful.
earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's working so hard because of the prices now. It's changed, but yeah, I miss Mexican food. That's about it.
Authentic Mexican food. Oh, San Diego has the best Mexican food too. So close to TJ, you know?
You know, yep, you know it. All right, so I have another question from Anita.
Okay.
They ask, how does the Solve.Care audit score we just had from Zango, how does that improve our ability to form new partnerships?
Yeah, so I'm glad that somebody asked about Zango and the audit score. I know that some of the community members thought that it was a very low score or relatively low score, but to be honest, Zango to get that even that type of grade from Zango, which Zango is known for giving like notoriously known for giving low scores, and I was actually part of the consultation process with Zango during that time. And, I visited them at their office and they were so, what do you call it? Almost like celebrating that we actually got a B plus, right? Because other projects, especially older projects, they failed to get anywhere close to the grade that we got, even new projects as well, right? And so, the grade that we got, the audit results that we have, has opened so many doors, like where we normally would have to go through different types of screening processes and like another internal type of review with the project or the clients that we're meeting. Um, just that report alone, it cuts the time so much, and I don't know if like any of the community members are Korean here, but um, and if they came to the opening ceremony for Blockchain College, um, the manager for Zango actually spoke at the opening ceremony, and he gave us like so many compliments throughout his portion of the presentation. How more projects should be like Solve.Care, and how Solve.Care has like um, a, a, a strong meaningful is a meaningful project, and if other people are trying to start their own blockchain company or anything like that, then they should follow our lead by having more meaning and not just oh, this is just a NFT or this is just a blockchain, like something like this, right?
Yeah.
And I was actually very, very I was actually floored by Zango's presentation during the Blockchain College opening ceremony, and yeah. So just to cut it short, or I'll just cut it there. Yeah, but definitely it's been very beneficial for us.
Very cool. Very cool. Awesome. So we have one last question here before we wrap up. This one comes from Emmanuel. This is kind of just a kind of overview of how Solve.Care helps. They ask, how does Solve.Care promote patient engagement and empowerment in Korea, encouraging them to actively participate in their healthcare journey through our platform?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. Especially with like I did mention this before, but with R8, the new release of R8, and the clinical trials and the clinical research projects or research, the research, I think, Koreans can definitely get a firsthand taste of how their personal data, their own data, can contribute to different diseases, specifically that may resonate more with that user. Currently, there's nothing out here like that. Nowhere in the world can you actually do this. Um, and I'm so excited about it, and I feel like it's going to be. I feel like it's going to be an amazing experience for a lot of people.
Yeah, definitely. So, being, as a community member, even before I took this bigger role with Solve.Care, I didn't get to see a lot of the inner workings of Solve.Care. I found out about announcements a few minutes before they would come out. And now that I've taken this bigger role, I can see a lot more of what's happening on the inside, and it's a lot more exciting. Is there anything that you see coming up within the next couple of months that's really exciting on the Korean side?
Uh, um, let's see. How much
And don't
is
give
is
names.
Maria is Maria still on here? Let me see. Hold on. Is
She is.
Maria still on here? No, I'm just kidding. I'll just get. I don't even know. Um, I'll just say that there's going to be a real use case, a more I'll just say that there's going to be a a really big utility for Solve. There's going to be, yeah, utility for Solve where people can actually use it for other like real things. It's gonna be, yeah, it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be amazing.
Nice. And this is an open network, right? Anyone can use this one.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
That's powerful. I know
Hmm.
there's a lot of people that want to hear that. I know it's a lot of what people have been waiting for as well. We have one coming out very soon um, that people can start utilizing, but I know the one you're working on is very well known, and yeah, I'm excited for that one. So very cool. We won't leak any more information about
Okay.
that. So, do you have any closing thoughts, Tay? What do you want to tell the community?
Yeah, I mean, the community, I feel like we do have, part of our Zango report, the audit report, it did say that our community, Solve.Care's community, is one of the strongest that they've ever seen, especially, um, an older project, right? So that the way that they determine, I mean, I don't want to go too into it, but they did say that we do have one of the strongest that they've ever seen, and so I do appreciate our community, and definitely, I know that it could be difficult at times, right? But um, we're working around the clock, like working around the clock, and we're working smarter, not harder, right? We're definitely opening a lot of doors over here in Korea. We're going to have a real utility for Solve very, very soon. It's going to be, yeah, the rest of this year is going to be explosive. It's going to be explosive. Yeah. So I just want to tell the community just thank you so much for all of your support, and just to hang in there for a little bit longer. We're going to get there.
Wow, that's great to hear. All right, Tay, thank you so much for joining us. Just to let you guys know, we will be running another poll to see who the next lucky guest is. Hopefully, I won't have to twist any arms to get them on. But um, yeah, thank you all. Thank you, Tay. It's been a pleasure. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. I hope you got to have your question answered. And yeah, thank you all for joining, and we'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Have a good night, everybody.